obviously one of the main reasons that we decided to sit down and chat was because there's been a transition, a publication of a revision of the standard. So just looking at the what's changed. So Jenny, would you perhaps like to sort of explain what's changed between the version of the standard that was published in 2005 and the version of the standard that's been published in 2011?
Yeah. The main differences I've mentioned already. The language is much more suitable for an international audience, much more consistent. We have a style guide where certain words are the words you use in a certain context, certain words are forbidden, so we don't use address because that translates differently and it's used differently by different English-speaking countries. As far as the more substantive changes to the standard, the kind of changes we've done is it's much more explicit about how you manage a supply chain. So no service provider does absolutely everything themselves. They always rely on other suppliers, maybe internal groups in their organisation that they don't have direct control of. Some people have complex supply chains where the customers are actually doing part of the work. So, for example, you might have a specialist business group contributing to the overall service. We've actually introduced a set of requirements that covers that eventuality, which is the reality that most people find themselves in. And actually that means that there are organisations who perhaps were unable to achieve all the requirements for 20,000 in the past, now will become eligible because they can actually prove that they are managing their suppliers, they're managing their relationships in the way that 20,000 requires. And the other big change is that in early days of service management, it was almost like a wall between service management and development projects, and projects would just suddenly appear on the service management side of the wall, and sometimes you knew nothing about it until you got lots of calls to a help desk. What we did with the first edition of 20,000, we moved a little way into projects that are changing the way a service will work, new applications, maybe just major changes to the service environment. We've moved that further up. So in effect, now service management gets involved in the first stages of a major change to the service, even if that is being done by another organisation. So it's an advance in the intellect behind service management that's now reflected in 20,000. Other changes are much more minor. They are refinements, slight improvements, possibly some additional requirements that apply at process level.
Okay, thank you. Shirley, just moving from that point, what does that mean for organisations? What should they be doing? How should they be tackling it?
Well, I actually go back to the previous point. Actually, they need to assess where they are against it. So we've got one customer who's achieved 20,000. They also use ITIL. So actually, ITIL was updated in 2007, and has recently had a consistency update in 2011. But at both of those, so 2007 very much went to a service life cycle view. So we have service design, service transition and service operation with service strategy and continual service improvement. That really goes together with the new edition of 20,000, where the clause in there is about the design and transition of new and changed services. So very much aligned. So that's an area where certainly our customer is focused on. And they'd already adopted it as best practices, but now actually the standard supports them actually doing that much better. And it is an area that they struggled with. So really they're actually looking at the things that have changed. So they would look at those key areas. They're probably already doing some of them. So people shouldn't feel that they're not doing those things that are in 20,000. So again, really understand what you're doing that's okay, and then understand what you have to do to add to it.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Now,